So I'm Jenny from Play Scotland, as has already been said. So Play Scotland, what do we think about play in Scotland? Well, we think there should be more play, so we want to increase the amount of play. We think there should be better play, so we think children should have lots of options for high quality play. And we think that play should be for everyone, so we want to make sure that all children can access play, no matter their ability or background or where they live. So what is play? Seems like a bit of a silly question, but the way we define play is we say play is freely chosen. So no one tells you what to play, you pick what you want to play. Play is personally directed, so that means no one tells you how to play, you pick how to play. And it's intrinsically motivated. That means no one's telling you why to play. There's no goal or aim, you're just playing because it's fun. So play is something you pick how to do it, and you do it because you think it will be good fun. So why is play important? So I think a really good way to answer this question is if the teachers could get answers from the children in the class and put it in the chat and tell me what is good about playtime. So I'll just give you 2 minutes, and if you just put in the chat what you think is good about playtime. And I can't actually see the chat while I'm presenting, so could maybe, Fraser, would you be able to read them to me?
That's okay. Yeah, we're in the wings and we see there's some schools typing. Yeah, you get to play with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's St. Patrick's Primary 7 class there. Being with friends. Fresh air. That's a great one.
There you go.
You get a break from all the work, which of course is great. It's a great way to reset your mind. Freedom.
Yeah.
Say somebody. Break from work again to chat and have fun. The more people playing, the better.
I definitely agree with that one. That one sounds great.
I agree that. Get to have fun. Oh, you get to see friends from other classes.
Yes. So I think the key ideas that we have about playtime, for me anyway, is that you get to do what you want. It's that sense of freedom, and it's hanging out with your friends, and you can pick who you want. You don't have to sit next to who you're told to. You can play with your friends. You can play from people with other classes. So it's this idea of you get to do what you want during that time. Play can give you a sense of freedom and a sense of control. And play is also really good for brain development, because every time you're deciding what you want to do and how you want to do it, your brain is developing, which is really amazing. You know, every time you're like, oh, what will I do today? I think I'll play TIG and I think I'll play with those people. Making those decisions is making your brain stronger and faster and better, basically. So just because playtime is fun doesn't mean it's not important. Playtime is really important. So the next thing I'd like to ask you to do is, we're gonna, again, if the teachers could ask the classes and put them in the chat, I'd like you to tell me what you do at playtime. But because I am kind of a fortune teller, I have predicted on my next slide what I think you're going to say. So I've guessed all the answers I think I'm gonna get. So why don't you tell me what you do at playtime, and then we'll go to my next slide and we'll see how many I have got right. So if you just do that, for the next 2 minutes, if you just pop in the chat, what do you do at playtime?
So I'm looking at the chat here, and the first 3 entries were about football, which isn't
football, fantastic.
Chatting is one.
Mm-hmm.
Playing hide and seek, brilliant. Yeah. Playing football, talk to friends. Oh, there's one here that says Grizzle and the Lemons, and then in brackets it's Tig.
Fantastic. I love that as an idea. I'll have to hear more about that later.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but that sounds really interesting. Games with tires. Zombie Tig. Ooh, that sounds really good. Basketball, playing with friends, talking to friends, chatting with friends, playing cops and robbers. That's good fun. We've got another school with tires in the playground. A dancing club. Cool.
Oh, that sounds great.
Chatting to friends, having a snack. Oh, yeah.
Yum, yum.
Hunter versus prey. Making up songs, running about, Granny's footsteps. Another zombie game here. Hide and seek, long jump. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, real life Minecraft. That sounds really
Oh, that
interesting.
one sounds great.
Um, Play with your imagination. Jungle's on fire. I've not heard of that one
Oh, I know
either.
that one. Fire in the Jungle. That one's great.
Dodgeball, Heidi Tig. Wow, there's so many. Spying, red light, green light. That's amazing. The list is absolutely endless. Chaos Tig. That sounds amazing.
That one's good too. So, shall we see how many I got right? Let's see my next slide. So, I guessed hide and seek right. I guessed football right. I guessed TIG or tag, some people call it tag, right. And I guessed pretend games right, because I would call Minecraft, playing real life Minecraft, I call that a pretend game. And playing on equipment, I'm going to give myself that one because you said
Yep,
tires.
said tires,
So
yep.
I think I got quite a lot of those right, but how did I know? How did I know what everyone was going to say? Does anyone have any guesses how I knew what you were going to say?
So Miss Savage's class say it's because they're all popular games.
Yeah, that's one reason.
And all schools have the same equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And another teacher said, because you work for Play Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It is part of my job to know what you play at playtime. That is true.
St. Pat's say it's because you're magic.
I like that answer the best. But the real reason is because children from all around the world and through all of history have played the same sort of games. It's actually amazing how long these games have been played for. TIG was first mentioned by historians in the 2nd century. So that's almost 2,000 years ago. So for 2,000 years, children have been playing TIG. And hide and seek has been shown to be played on every single continent in the whole world. So that's amazing, isn't it? The same sort of games we've played, like your parents would have played, your grandparents would have played, your cousins in different countries would have played. So that's how I knew what you were going to say. So I knew you were going to say all these games because they're played all around the world and all through history. So we know that people play these games all around the world. So they play the same games, but we also know that there's a lot of variations within those games. And we already touched on that because you already mentioned loads of different kinds of TIG. But I was going to ask you, actually, if you could tell me how many different kinds of TIG you know, because TIG is played all around the world, but we also all play it differently. So can you all put in the chat all the different kinds of TIG you know? So we already had Chaos TIG, which I think is really fun, and Zombie TIG.
Zombie Tig was mentioned earlier. We've got Tunnel Tig.
Tunnel TIG is very good. I'll enjoy that one. Although it's difficult when the floor is wet.
Have you heard of Toilet Tig?
Toilet TIG's my favourite one because when you get tug, you pretend to be a toilet and you can't move until someone comes and flushes you, and then you're back in the game, which is really good fun because then you're trying to avoid the person who's chasing you, but you're also trying to flush all your friends.
Amazing. There's Plank Tig.
Well, I've not heard of that one, so I might have to hear a bit more about that later.
There's Hide and Seek Tig.
Oh, that one's really good because it's like my two favourite games put together.
Stick in the Mud.
Not played that one either. Interesting. Lots of new ones coming to me.
Disc Tig.
Disco TIG, also a great one.
Banana Tig.
My favourite one as well, one of my other favourites, is Chain TIG. And that's when whoever's if you get tugged by them, then you hold their hand and then you both go around trying to TIG someone and then everyone joins on the chain. So then you all have to run holding hands, which is it's really fun.
Well, I was going to say you'd be really slow at running, but then I suppose you could, if you're a chain, you could sort of surround them.
Exactly. You can like whip people forward and yeah, it's good. So these different kinds of variations of the game are really important because it's really good to vary the kinds of play that we do. So if you normally play tunnel TIG, it might be good to try chain TIG every once in a while. Or if you normally play football, it might be good to try to play a pretend game every once in a while during playtime. Does anyone know why it might be good to try something new during playtime? Just pop in the chat. Why is it good to change the different kinds of games we play each day?
We've got develop new skills, so you don't get bored.
Yeah.
More experiences of different games, improve your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Find something new that you enjoy. Meet new people, make new friends. If you just played one game, you might get bored.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason variation is really important is, if you remember way back at the start when I started talking, I said that play helps develop our brains. But different kinds of play help develop our brains in different ways. So TIG is really good for coordination and it's really good for physical fitness. But playing a pretend game can help us build strong relationships, make new friends, and encourage our creative thinking skills because we're making things up while we're playing. So changing things up every once in a while is really good because playing new and different things help us learn different things. And also, like lots of you said, you might get bored if you play the same thing all the time. And if you play different games, you'll play with different people because people want to play different things each day. So changing things up is really good for us and it's really fun. So on that note, I thought it might be fun for each class, if you'll have like 5 or 10 minutes to do that. You can split into groups if you want, or you can do it as a whole class. But if you could come up with a brand new game, a completely new game that I've never heard of before, that so the next and it could be a pretend game, it could be a new kind of TIG or hide and seek, it could be anything. But what I want is an absolutely brand spanking new game. So you've got like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can come back and you can type in the chat what you came up with, and we can have a little look at what everyone decided to do.
And I guess this activity is something that the schools can go off and do afterwards as well. They're probably
definitely. I think it's a really fun thing to do right before break time because then you're really excited about it and you can go out and try it out. But yeah, I think it's it's something really quick you can do because children are the most imaginative people in the whole planet. So they can, we're stuck, but they're not. I bet they're not. I bet they've got a million great ideas.
Okay, we've got horse TIG. The Tigger is a horse, obviously. When you're a tug, then you have to go. Oh, well, it's gone. The chat's gone. When you are tug, then you have to go on all fours like a horse.
That's great.
To be freed, someone has to jump over you.
I love it. I love the ones where like you're never out. You're just back in until someone can free you. I think they're really fun because it means everyone's got 2 objectives: avoid the person tigging you and help other people. I think that's always really fun.
And we've got times table TIG. That's definitely a suggestion that's come from a teacher, isn't it?
I wonder how that would work. Maybe you have to like shout at someone or something.
Question correctly.
Yeah.
Animal TIG. The Tigger picks an animal, and so do the other people. The Tigger has to catch people with the same animal as them.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
They all have to make the same noise.
Yeah.
Spinning TIG. That sounds like a lot of falling over would happen.
Fantastic.
Pause TIG. If someone tigs you, you pause for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Cheese freeze. There's no explanation for that. That's just...
Maybe you take a picture of someone, you say cheese, and then you have to freeze for the photo. Maybe something like that.
Maybe perhaps Miss Walsh can give us a bit more of a lowdown on that one. Cone thrower, like football, but you use a frisbee.
Oh, that sounds great too.
Or a cone.
Yeah.
And we've got one group at St Ninians have made up Robot TIG, good robots and bad robots. So if a bad robot tigs you, you stand on the spot moving like a robot until a good robot sets you free. So we've got meditation TIG.
Ooh.
Huggy Wuggy TIG.
Great.
This sounds deadly. Football, but you're allowed to use rugby tackles.
Oh wow, yeah, that sounds like it could potentially be dangerous, but I'm sure everyone who was playing it would be very sensible about how they went about it. So
there is a disclosure. In brackets, it does say only suitable for grass. So that's...
Yes, exactly would have been my first thought. Where can we play this safely?
We've got Sharky TIG, exercise TIG. If you get tugged, you have to do an exercise, and to free you, someone else has to do that exercise too.
Great.
Good. What else have we got? Oh, they're absolutely flying in. Tired.
End of the world TIG. That's interesting. You lay down and someone revives you by pulling your hands.
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh, we've got an explanation for cheese freeze.
Oh, please.
You have a cat and a mouse, and when the cat says stop, you have to freeze. If you move, you're out.
Oh, that one sounds good too. We used to play a cat and a mouse one, very similar to some of the ones where you got two teams. You know, we had cats chasing the mice, and then you had to go rescue the other mice. Oh, I can't remember the rules properly, but yes.
We've got we've got Ice Tig from Finley at Carnock. If you're standing on the playground for more than 5 seconds, you are it. You need to stay off the ground.
Oh, one of my favourite ones is Lava Tig, which is when the ground is lava. So you've got to run around using equipment or like on stones and sticks, but you can't touch the ground, otherwise you're out.
Yeah, I think Floor is Lava was one of my favourite games at school, definitely. Yeah. Money Tig. If you are caught, you become poor, and you have to steal this to become rich. Wow.
Just stealing off each other. I like that. That's a bit like Tail Tig, which is when you put a sock in your waistband, like next to your butt, and the Tigger is trying to like take the sock off you, and if they do, they put it in their waistband, and then you're the Tigger, and you've got to go and try and steal someone else's sock. So it's all that resource management. But great. So I think I'm going to move on there, but those ideas sound amazing. So excellent job, everyone. Really well done. So the last thing we're going to do is you can write down, you can draw, or you can just think in your head, but I want everyone to think of what is your favourite thing to do at playtime, the thing you do most of the time. And then I want you to think of something you don't do often, but you'd like to do more. And the last thing is something you've never done, but you're definitely going to try now. And that could be the game you've just come up with, or it could be a different game. So I'll give you 2 minutes, and you just have to think in your head or write it down or draw it. Your favourite thing to do at playtime, something you don't often do but you want to do more, and something you've never done before but you're going to try. And you can pop some in the chat if you'd like, or you can just keep them to yourself. That's up to you. But I'll give you 2 minutes to do that, and then I'm almost done, and we'll go to questions.
So we've got favourite things. This is from Miss Savage's class: climbing trees, pig, playing in the bushes, and mining. Which I don't know if that's really mining or pretend mining. Hopefully, just pretend mining. And we've got some more favourites from Miss Collins's class: football. Something they'd like to do more is badminton. And something they've never done but would like to try is jail tig.
Great.
And primary 4/5 at St Pat's. Some people want to play more hopscotch. Maybe that's a game that's fallen off the radar at St Pat's, but a good game.
Yeah, a great game. I like it when you get chalk and you can draw your own course, so you can decide how many are double and how many are single in a row. That's fun.
Definitely. I've just been informed that mining is digging in the ground for treasure and stones. So very much.
Real mining. Fantastic.
Wow, there's mention of parkour tig here.
Oh, fantastic.
That's from Miss Banks' class. That sounds amazing.
Okay, we've got one more here. So one thing they like to play is Hello Neighbour. They also like to play football a lot. They don't play hide and seek much, but would like to do it more. And they've never played Heart Tig, but would like to try.
Fantastic.
Hello Neighbour is a really interesting one because that's a game that's a mobile game, right? And that's been converted into a playground game. That would be interesting to hear the rules for how you play Hello Neighbour.
Things they would like to do more in Miss Savage's class is inventing games with sticks and stones.
Great.
It's a good idea.
I always think a stick is the best toy. Because if you get a toy car, then it's always going to be a toy car and you can only play with it as a car. But if you have a stick, oh my god, you can do a million things with a stick. It can be anything. It can be a sword, it can be a flag, it can be a trumpet, it can be a walking stick. It's great. Sticks are great. So thank you very much everyone for your ideas. I'm just going to summarise now what I've said, which is play is really important. Every time you're choosing how to play and when you're playing, your brain is developing. And it's also really important to have fun. It's a really important part of life. So play is very important. And it's also really important to try something new. So I would really encourage you to try out the games you made up, try out games you don't often play with someone new. And yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun at playtime today. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks for all of your wonderful additions in the chat.